Some stars are so far away that their fire has burned out by the time the brightness reaches us. Long ago, people imagined pictures in groups of stars and gave them names. They call these stars constellations. This is Leo the lion. This is Orion the hunter. And we see his three bright stars of his belt. Constellations can tell us many things. When we see Orion the hunter in the sky, we know it's the season to harvest what we have planted. All year long, the Big Dipper points towards a star named Polaris. Polaris is also called the North Star. So here's the Big Dipper that we just did in our word problem today. But let's count the stars that are in the Big Dipper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. We always see Polaris in the northern sky. If you know which way north is, you can always find your way in the darkness. We talked about that when we were talking about a compass. You can look up into the sky and one of the brightest stars is the North Star, so you know which way to head north. Sometimes before the stars come out, we can see a bright light in the sky, dangling low in the horizon. It looks like a star, but it isn't. It's the planet Venus. Stars twinkle, but planets glow with a steady light. That's how you can tell the difference when you're up there. And satellites and planes move across the sky. When something in space goes around something else, it's an orbit. Planets orbit around stars. Planets get their light from the star that shines on them. Earth, where we live, is a planet. Earth orbits around the sun. The sun and its planets make up the solar system. You guys knew that. Moons orbit around planets. Some planets have many moons. How many moons does Earth have? That's right, just one. Our moon seems to change its shape each night. But you know it doesn't. It's always around. It's always round. We just can't see all of it all the time. At the outer edge of our solar system, there are big chunks of ice. We can't see them until they get close to the sun. Then the ice starts to melt and forms a long, bright tail. This chunk of ice with a shining tail is called a comet. Streaks of lights that look like faraway fireworks are meteors. We call them shooting stars. One of my greatest memories is laying on the bow of my friend's boat in Nantucket Sound off of Nantucket, counting shooting stars in August. When meteors zoom close to the Earth, they usually burn up in the air. Sometimes one falls and makes a crater on the ground, just like Jack and Annie had to maneuver through the craters. Stars, planets, comets, and meteors are all part of the universe. People have always wanted to know more about our universe. That's why we study stars through giant telescopes. That's why we send satellites into space. But the universe is much greater than we can measure, just like she was telling you about In My Place in Space. Astronauts have gone to the moon, but nobody has ever gone to any star. I think our universe will always be a mystery. We'll go looking out at those beautiful stars each night, looking and wondering. Why do you think that nobody has ever visited a star? What is a star made of? Is a star something that you could land on, or is it made of fiery gas? Fiery gas, that's probably why. All right, my friends. Your job today is to do some writing, and I want you to think about, I'm going to ask you a question. Think about, how did Jack communicate with the Moon Man? What did they need to use to help them communicate? And what did they find out was the last M thing to free Morgan from her spell. All right, my friends. Tomorrow we'll finish the story. We'll see what happens next. And go and have a great Tuesday. And I'll see you tomorrow. Love you lots. Bye for now.